Welcome to the Trio Blood Podcast. I am your host, Christian Dior Creasy.
I'm Lionel Chapman,
Ira Childs.
and on today's episode, we are talking about two of the most popular vampire films of the 1980s, Fright Night and The Lost Boys.
What an amazing two films we got. But first, how you guys feeling?
I'm not bad. Not bad at all.
I'm feeling like a vampire.
Yeah? Ready, thirsty for blood?
I want to bite a neck.
Oh, we're going to be biting necks today.
Yes,
Drinking
yes.
blood.
Yes.
Good blood, that is.
Okay. So we'll be talking about Fright Night.
You're so cool, broster.
Well, let me do it the original way. Friday night.
I am Peter Vincent, great vampire killer. Man, what an amazing film.
Yes.
Man, that film. Man, I was like 8 years old, a kid when I first saw that film with my Uncle Andrew.
Yeah.
Shout out to my Uncle Andrew. Man, watching that, just the whole scene, the setup, and the creative, ideas that was put in there. Written and directed by Tom Holland.
Yes.
Shout out to Tom Holland, who also
Holland.
directed Child's Play.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Classic.
Man, that was. It's just like the whole thing, like the vampire next door
Man.
concept,
The creepy neighbor.
right? Like we all have that creepy neighbor,
Man.
That we always expect is up to something.
Let me
Yep.
peep through this blind.
right?
See what's going on.
Or that house that's on the block that's haunted.
Right.
You
right,
know.
Right.
Yeah, man. And like, what is it about that film today that still has an impact? What do you guys think?
I just think the time, the era, the music that was played in the film, you know, all that, you know.
Yeah,
I think it really set the tone for vampire movies moving forward.
yeah,
It also forced you to be a little more creative too. You know what I mean? Because some of the special effects and the kills are just phenomenal, to say the least.
They actually spent $1 million on special effects for that film. That was like the first vampire film that they actually spent $1 million on.
That lets you know prosthetics over computers always works.
Yes.
always. Because, like we said before, when you have low budget like this, it forces you to be creative. And some of the coolest and best creative ideas came out of that. Out of all these cool 80s and 70s horror films and stuff. And did you know that Tom Holland wrote the script in 3 weeks?
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, usually 6 months to maybe even a year, rewrite after rewrite, but just 3 weeks. And to get that type of film is amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And William, who plays Charlie, man, he just killed the role. Like I can relate to a way to Charlie, you know.
I felt sorry for Charlie.
Did you? Why you feel sorry for
know.
Charlie?
You just a weakling. Just, Charlie.
Yeah, okay.
He's Charlie. You know, he's Charlie.
I mean,
What can you do if you're going to get somebody with supernatural abilities?
and Chris,
You know.
forgive me if I'm mispronouncing his name. Sarandon.
Yes.
Sarandon.
Actually,
Also was in Chucky. But
Yeah. Also, played the good guy in Chucky.
Yes, he did.
But he played Jerry Dandridge, the vampire. Man, that just like if I ever in my life play a vampire role, I'm watching his performance to take notes. The way he did everything about Jerry Dandridge was just so awesome because he put sexy to it.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he put sexy to it.
had the gray trench coat on,
Yep.
with the little dapper. You know,
So from clothes to hair, he really put everything into this character.
I think he came up with the idea of fruit bat.
Yep, he did. That was an awesome thing that I found out that he asked Tom to like, can he be part fruit bat? Like that's why you see him in the film eating an orange or an apple, you know, and because he just didn't. He wanted to add another layer, as we call it, in acting, layers or colors, dimension. It's all the same stuff, just adding more depth to make the character more real. Because he just didn't want Jerry Dandridge to come off just an evil bad guy. You know, he just wanted to put depth to him, which also brings us to one of the. Well, I have two favorite scenes in that movie.
Okay.
But before you get to that, I think bringing that depth to the character makes him more believable. And that's why this role is just such an iconic role for him, because he took it there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
And doing interviews, he said till this day, he said women and guys just like still like, man, that vampire was sexy as hell.
Did you know that originally he wasn't fond of being in the vampire film, but his wife loved the script and he had to rethink it. And him and Tom, you know, they met up.
Yep.
And they jailed. And
that's how it always was, wasn't it?
yeah.
That's the same thing what happened with in Friday the 13th, the original.
For real?
Yes. Mrs. the lady who plays Mrs. Voorhees. Forgive me if I'm not pronouncing her name right. I'm sorry. She did the same thing. She like threw the script in the garbage. But she came back and read it. She was like, you know, I can do this.
I think she was like a well-known actress or like
In theater
Theater,
and
something like that,
television.
yeah.
So, but speaking of what Chris was talking about, adding depth to Dandry, to Jerry Dandridge, saying Dandry. Like one of my favorite scenes is the most iconic scene is with the love scene with Amy's character and Jerry when they was in the room, and when she looked at the painting of herself, and Jerry was like, "That's someone who he knew a very long ago," which the subtext for you guys don't know is that he has a long lost lover that he lost, and Amy reminded her of that. That's, you know, so it goes to show you he just not some evil vampire.
Yeah. He has some depth to him.
He has some depth to him. He has feeling, and he has love. It's like, oh, an evil vampire like love someone. Yeah.
I think my favorite character was the caretaker. It was creepy.
Yeah.
He was.
Oh, my favorite scene is the club scene.
Okay.
That whole scene, but my favorite part is when Charlie Brewster walk up, get your damn hands off her. And he just looked at him like gangster style, just smiled and kissed her. Like, you know, you a badass, you badass, especially a vampire, if you can just do that in front of a man's girl.
Man.
And he tried to punch him. He grabbed him. He said, you shouldn't lose your temper, Charlie. So all calm. It's not polite.
Man.
Yeah.
My favorite scene was when they was on the stairs and Peter Benson had shot the caretaker.
Oh, yeah.
Shot him a couple times. He fell down. They turned their back. Next thing you hear, it's like coming up the stairs. They turned around. Just creepy scene. Creepy and funny, you know.
That was. Did you know another cool fun fact is that doing the blocking of the doing one of the blocking of the scenes, director Tom Holland was chatting with visual effects artist Randall William Cook to ask him, can he make a quote unquote shark mouth? And he told him, we don't have the money for it. But however, Randall said he would do it over the weekend. And the weekend he did it and he brought it to set. And it was a good shark mouth. And it was only supposed to be used for like a few seconds in the scene. But they use it extensively for filming. Hence the term when she turns her back and she was like, downstairs in the last act, and she got that big, ugly looking mouth with saliva coming down.
Yeah.
That was the shark mouth,
Man,
Wow.
which became
nice.
the iconic poster,
Nice.
which our poster keeps. Don't want to stay up, but it became the iconic poster right here,
Right.
that you see. That shark mouth.
Yeah.
You know,
It's a solid scene.
how many of y'all would date her though? With that shark mouth.
Not me.
Not me.
What about you? We kiss her for like 25 mil?
No.
You know what?
What about 1 billion?
You know, I'll take that back. I would date her rather than date someone in 28. What's that? 28 weeks later. Is that 20? What's that? 28? 20? What's the movie where they the people go away and it's cold? And and you see
30 days of nights.
30 days of night. You see how they bangs look?
Yeah.
Man,
Josh Hartland.
if I had an option, I would choose her.
The way they talk.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Okay.
Did you guys know that 1966 Ford Mustang that Mr. Brewster was driving around really belonged to Tom Holland?
Oh, didn't know that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That is interesting. It was a cool car, too. Needed a little paint job, but it was a good
cool.
car. Did you know that the role of Charlie Brewster, Charlie Sheen, auditioned for the role? For that role. But Tom Holland, in an interview, when I was looking at behind the scenes, was saying that he was too pretty. He told him literally, he said, "You really good, but I can't use it because you just too pretty." And Charlie Sheen got offended. He said, "I wish I would have said the knowledge I know now. You can't say that kind of things in auditions these days." Well, he just, that was, I didn't know that.
Man, it got me in tears. So I'm sorry.
Oh, what the language of the vampires in 30 Days a Night.
Did you guys? Did you?
Oh, goodness.
Did you guys know in 1985, Fright Night was the highest second grossing film, which made 25 mil at the box office.
I didn't know that. I did know that the studio, this is what Tom Holland and the other cast and crew members didn't believe that the movie was going to bomb. They didn't have faith in it.
No.
So they gave him the late August release in the summer, because that's when, during that period, like the movie box office season
Starts to slow down.
slowed down and stuff, but it didn't. It shocked them.
Did you guys know what was the number one grossing film in 1985?
Fright Night.
Nightmare on Elm Street 2, coming in at 30 million.
30 million. Wow.
Wow.
30 million. And Fright Night was number 2
That's still a
in
success.
the same year.
For a $9 million budget,
Yeah.
I believe that was the film. Correct me if I'm wrong, Tom Holland. If the budget, I didn't know that. But I want to talk about the freaking music. My God. I think that's what really is memorable to me, the music.
I'm going to tell you my favorite scene with the music.
Which one?
What?
Remember when the mom is in the bed asleep and Jerry comes in the house? He slammed. He's
Oh, when they say, doom, 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 doom,
Not
doom,
that
doom, 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 doom.
doom doom
Doom. Yeah. Dun, dun, dun.
doom.
Doom, doom. Did you know? Here's a cool fun fact: that Brad Fiedel was the composer for Fright Night, and the reason why Tom Holland sought him out because his great work he did on Terminator,
Oh, nice.
the first one.
Nice.
It was Brad Fiedel who created dun 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 for Terminator.
Right.
So he saw him out for Fright Night. And did you know that he did that Brad Fiedel on his interview that Fright Night it's mostly was composed of electric piano, uh, electric guitar, and let's see what else he said. Here, I have my notes.
Those things were actually pretty popular.
Yeah, he
during
said
that
the
time.
score of Fright Night is mostly synthesizer plus acoustic, piano, and electric violin. The sustain that he loved that gave the music the vampire feel.
Nice.
And the most infamous song we all know, which is actually a song, it's called "Come to Me,"
Okay.
that you see in the bedroom between him and Jerry and Amy when the blood coming down. He wrote that song specifically for that scene. He wanted to put the lyrics over that, but Tom was like,
Nice.
because that would take away their moment in the film. Can you just imagine when they sitting down, he's, laying his Jack Webb on her, and you hear, "Come to me when you need something real."
It would have definitely changed the tone of the scene.
Yeah, it would have probably, audience would probably be like, "My God, you so spoiling the moment." But not to dismiss it, but Bradford, I love the song. Yeah, because that's an iconic song.
But
Yep.
it fit the scene. You know
It
what I mean?
does, and it fit and still to this day, like true horror fans know, if you just tune that and ask them where that came from, they'll say Fright Night.
Right now.
Yeah.
Fright Night 1 and 2, because Deborah Holland sung it on a sequel. But man, that music just is too iconic.
Yeah. Played along with all the misty scenes. I love the misty images in that film.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. And Evil Ed, the guy,
Evil Ed.
one of my favorite characters. The famous line, "Oh, you so cool, Brewster."
He has to be one of my favorite characters in that film.
Yeah.
Yeah. He made it fun.
Yeah, he did.
Yes, he did.
Characters and the way they dressed. And so, which is actually a great segue to our next film we need to talk about.
The Lost.
The Lost Boys.
Let me say it one more
The
time.
Lost Boys.
The Lost Boys.
My nothing against Fright Night, but
Doom.
yeah.
Doom.
Don't cry, little sister.
I believe
That's my
The
favorite
Lost Boys
vampire film of all
set the
time.
tone for modern day vampire films.
Well, I don't think any vampire film since then has topped that, to really be honest. Twilight, no. You had some come close, but nothing like that. Like I said, just starting with the costumes and the everything that the characters had in the Lost Boys really just kind of had everything going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially that time and that era.
Yep.
You know, when the film came out, the pop rock culture.
Culture, yeah. Here's a cool thing leading up, because that came out 2 years after, 87, directed by Joe Schumacher, who also directed Time to Kill, who also directed Batman Forever. Did you know Richard Donner, Superman,
Yeah.
who did Superman, was originally supposed to direct Lost Boys?
Lethal Weapon.
But that's why he didn't direct, because it was a schedule conflict, because he was directing one of the all-time action films that we got, and Christmas movie,
Yes.
Lethal Weapon.
Yes.
So he brought on Joe Schumacher.
And that was really cool.
Yeah. But Joe Schumacher did some changes. Did you know, this is what I did when I researched, that the original vampires were supposed to have been teenagers.
No.
It was not supposed to be older. They was going to be teenagers, and the Frog Brothers were going to be like chubby Boy Scouts, 8-year-old chubby Boy Scouts. And Star was originally supposed to be a male.
So
A
basically,
boy.
like the Goonies type.
Yep, it was the kind of like the
Type
Goonies
I don't know
type
about
vibe,
that at all.
which Richard Donner wanted to do, but Joe Schumacher, he
Yeah.
gave it all to Joe Schumacher, who changed the whole time. It was Joe Schumacher. When I was looking at Kiefer Shuttlesfield, when he was talking about Lost Boys, that put the rock modern feel to it.
Nice.
That whole punk rock and rock and roll kind of vibe and how they dress and stuff like that.
Made it more appealing and sexy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that was great.
Man, I remember when I saw that film at 5 years old.
Yeah.
And I was hooked. When I saw it on cassette, living in the row houses on 43rd and Champlain and Bronzeville, I was like, man, where did this come? I still know the lines. Like, you killed Marco.
Man.
All right. Michael. Right. Which one of y'all go off? Which one of y'all favorite lines is from the film? I have a ton, but one of my favorite is Death by Stereo.
Oh, yes.
You miss sucker.
That's everybody's favorite.
Only once, pal. Yeah, that's one of my favorite lines.
I have too many lines, man. That you got to come back to me on that,
Ira?
I honestly can't say that I can think of something at the moment.
A lot of images.
One image that really is sticking out to me, and as I look at the DVD, is Corey Feldman and that red bandana on his head. What is that about?
I guess when he was getting into character, they told him to act like characteristics of Rambo and Chuck Norris, a mixture.
Yep, that was his inspiration. I think one of the either Corey Feldman was his. I think he did it. His acting. I think that was his choice, or his character's choice.
This was the first two. This was the first film that the two Coreys was introduced to each other.
Yep.
Yeah.
And set the tone for all the Corey films. The two Coreys. Yeah.
So what about the story? How does this impact you guys as far as like vampire movies?
Man, just I loved it, man. It's like being a new guy in a new school, and you got these group of guys, want you to be a part of their tribe.
For me, I think because all the young actors, even the older vampires, that got me because everybody was so young, so full of life, so live, that attracted me. It's like, man, this is cool.
Yeah. And
it's like that's what so iconic about it, because all the cast members were so young. Yeah. And just looking at it, it's like, man, everybody's young in this movie. I mean, you have the older characters like Max, you have the mom, you have grandpa, but everybody else, all the leads was like all the leads was so young.
I just like being a loner, wanting to be a part of something.
Yeah.
For me, it's just like Christian said, seeing all those young actors and like, that could be me. We definitely walked around with something on our head, even though they were vampires, but it was still cool.
Yeah.
It was still cool. Very relatable for the younger generation at that time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And some cool fun facts is that one of the cool fun facts that they did end up wanting to have a post-credit scene, but they didn't do it. The post-credit scene was the original. The post-credit scene was that all four of the original vampires survived, and they was in a sunken hotel licking their wounds, but that didn't happen.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And also another cool fun fact that at the end they was going to show a mural of Max in the 1900s, still looking how he was.
The same.
It's the same.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah. They didn't do it.
Did you know that? Did you guys know that the reason that Kiefer Sutherland had his gloves on the whole time is because he had injured his wrist
Doing what?
in the film.
Oh, okay.
So that's why every time you seen his hands, they black gloves.
And you know what else I found out? You know the famous Chinese food scene
Yeah.
when David offered Michael the box of Chinese rice, and he was like, "So how do they taste?" What? You eat maggots, Michael.
Oh.
You eat maggots. How do they taste? And you see the maggots moving. They said a trick was that on set to get the maggots to move on the camera like that, the bug guy in between takes would sprinkle lemon juice on them to make them move like that. Because they come to find out maggots just don't move like you normally see. They just sit there still. You have to influence them and encourage them to move. So the bug guy will sprinkle lemon juice on them to make them move like that.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
and did you know Kiefer Shuttlesfield, David, the most memorable and iconic character, only had less lines in the film.
Yeah.
He's one who had fewer lines. And I have a quote from Schumacher saying that he's a born character actor. He has the least amount of dialogue in the movie, but his presence is extraordinary.
Did you guys know that Greg Canham and his team, they are responsible for that new breed of vampire look? That look that they have, that influence,
The eyes,
the thickness, influence films and shows like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. You know,
That little.
yeah,
Oh, I didn't know that.
No, I didn't either.
yeah.
It's pretty interesting. That's cool.
So you know, that show you how impactful that film was to future, you know, and present.
Did you know the scene when they killed the youngest one and they was fleeing and David was coming after them and he burnt his hand and he was reaching to grab Sam and he pulled his hand and they pulled his hand into the sun and he burnt and he showing him like close up with that tear coming down his eye. It wasn't because of the pain of his hand being burnt. It's because of the contacts. Those contacts was so unbearable for him. Is that the body sends a signal to the brain. It was telling him your eyes are dry. So they was trying to morse, but they got it though in the shot and they kept it because it made it perfect.
By the way, guys, that first vampire that was killed, that was Alex Winter.
Bill and Ted, dude.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Party on. Excellent.
That was his first film, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Star-studded cast. You know,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I always wanted to, what's better than getting a group of your friends? You guys young, strong, living forever. I think that was the biggest.
But that music though,
Man.
that soundtrack.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You talking about classics. And Cry Little Sister is my absolute favorite.
Man, I think when you're strange by the Doors was that music. That scene was perfect for the music.
Yeah.
Because you're getting all these weird looking people, and it was.
You know the scene when the guy on the saxophone? His name is Tim. I have it right here. Capello.
Yeah.
He's an instrumentalist.
I think he worked with Tina Turner.
Yep. He was part of Tina Turner's band.
Yeah. You know what's funny? They said that the reason he looked so buff is because he was doing push-ups between scenes.
Yeah, he was lifting weights between takes to get himself to look all sexy. Get him all greased up for the ladies. Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. Yeah, man. That music, that soundtrack was just amazing. I think both Fright Night and Lost Boys, both of those using modern music, modern artists, set the tone, I think, for studios to use music like from artists because it also makes them more money too. But that whole soundtrack, especially the Lost Boys soundtrack,
I think it's one of the best soundtracks ever made for a horror film.
me too. And it's classic because you had original artists, and also Fright Night too, because you have original artists, you have creative artists too, to use those sounds.
Yes.
Because I still believe.
Cry, little sister.
Right, Cry Little Sister, which came the one of the main themes, and Lost in the Shadows.
Man.
Say hello to the night, lost boy, lost in the shadows.
Man.
I can't wait. So yeah, man, that's. If y'all haven't seen Lost Boys yet,
Check it out. Go
check it out.
It's definitely worth it.
Go see it.
There's nothing like Twilight.
Definitely not Twilight.
No shiny vampires.
Creepy, perfect hair.
Right. Nothing against the actors who did their thing in Twilight, but we talking about the Lost Boys.
You know what,
We
fellas?
talking about Fright Night.
You know what,
Go
fellas?
check those two movies out.
I'm kind of glad they didn't show them flying in the air. I think it would have took away from the film.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I kind of like how they did it too. The first point of view of them flying, it makes it more scarier and more real too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a good creative choice of not seeing them flying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, just thinking about it, I love that first POV. Just for them coming from their lair, going to the,
Yeah.
To the amusement park.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that boardwalk. The opening scene.
Boardwalk.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Man, with that. Dum, dum, dum.
Yeah. Boom.
Man, just classic.
Just
Just classic.
See? Go
Music.
check it out, y'all.
Man.
Check it out.
We can only say so much, but
Right.
you really have to experience these movies to understand where we're coming from.
Yeah. And why this is still classic to this day. I mean, I watched The Lost Boys just last weekend. I'm going to watch it again tonight. I'm going to watch both of them.
If it's a weekend, I'm going to watch it Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's how much I love this film.
Yeah.
You know what? Fright Night made more at the box office, but The Lost Boys will forever be. It forever changed the culture of vampire films,
Yeah.
But two good films. So if you haven't seen neither one, check them out.
Yes. Any other final thoughts or comments or?
Well, on our YouTube page, leave us a comment stating your favorite line from one or both of these films. Let's keep this conversation going.
Yep.
Yes.
You're so cool, Brewster. We Austin Monster Bashers. The meanest, the baddest. Yeah, Michael. That's your only favorite line? Michael.
And then you get an echo. Michael. When he falls and wake up in the bed.
My other favorite one. Yeah, the blood-sucking Brady Bunch. I still want you, Lucy. I haven't changed my mind about that. But that concludes our episode. Please follow us on Instagram.
Yes.
Trio Horror. That's the Instagram, right?
Trio_3_horror.
That's right.
Yes.
And
Thank you for tuning in.
yes, and also follow us on YouTube, Trio Horror. Please like, share, and subscribe.
Or we gonna bite you. You're gonna wake up and we're gonna bite you. Alright.
That concludes our episode. Check us out next time on the Trio Blood Podcast.